Well, welcome to January's astrophotography meeting for the Memphis Astronomical Society. Got an interesting presentation tonight and a few discussion items. I usually start out with just any overall questions for the panel experts we have um, that we can provide some help for folks. Anybody going once? All right. So the big
Well, Merrill, there's some new people here that might be a little shy. If somebody has a telescope they might be interested in buying or the camera lens or anything, just let us know right now. It's okay.
there you go. Well, but for the new folks, that we always start out with just an opportunity for people to ask just general questions because there's a lot of expertise in this group here.
I actually do have a question. Since you asked if we're wanting to buy something, can I borrow like $10,000 so I can buy like a C14 and another mount?
Well, probably not.
I'd have to borrow a couple $100,000 because there's a CDK 24 down in Chile for sale now.
Oh,
There
nice.
you go. There you go.
He's had it. The guy's had it for like 3 years, and it's the 24-inch. It's f6.3 L600 mount. It's already in the facility down there, ready to go, and he's selling it.
So
I
you would
want to
buy
put
it
an
and then
offer on the web microscope or telescope too.
Yeah, I mean, I ran across it on Facebook. It popped up on my Facebook feed. I'm like, oh, what's that? It's like, holy crap! And he did like a comparison of like 180,000 or whatever for when he was doing, but I know that scope costs a little more than that, being a 24-inch.
Maybe that can be the new MASfits purchase.
There you
Yeah.
go. Yeah, we have 8,000 in the bank to take as a down payment or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
I, I
Anything,
I have a question, if I may.
Mikhail?
Mikhail?
Do we have any experts in fire capture in the group? I am getting into planetary imaging, and I can use some help.
Hey, Adam, why don't you unmute a second?
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, you're a fire capture guy, aren't you?
No, I I am on Sharp Cap's payroll. I advocate for them because I think it's just amazing.
Okay.
I've
Yeah.
used both, but I found that SharpCap, I think, because I used SharpCap first and I got used to it, and I'm trying to use Fire Capture, and I find that it's a little awkward compared to SharpCap.
Okay.
And so I just haven't really been able to delve into it and actually, really learned. I've read, no, not read. I've seen videos on the different sections of it and going through that, but I haven't been playing into it in a couple of years now. So because I got my big scope is set up for deep sky with the focal reducer on it, so I haven't taken that off and doing all that fun stuff yet.
Well,
Again,
fire capture is totally free now. Agreed?
It is.
Firecrafter's always been free.
Yeah, and I asked AI. I asked three different AIs, and they say fire capture is a little bit better. I have no clue.
I think if
Yeah.
you start with Fire Capture and get used to it, and then switch to Sharp Cap, you're probably like, what are they doing this stuff here for? Everything's kind of like reorganized, whatever. Whereas once you get used to one of the formats, because they're two completely different, once you get used to one, I think it's kind of hard to swap to the other unless you just natively attach to that. Because I started with, that's why, I mean, I started with Sharp Cap that was version 2.9, where it was 100% free. And I'm like, oh, let me try that. And then it's like, I got so used to it, I go, oh, let me try the Fire Capture. And it's like, I'm half lost. I'm like, where did they put everything? I'm so used to being on over here, and now it's all this is over here, and they got different things. They got a little more icons and stuff. I mean, I think it's more versatile in the beginning. I don't know about now lately. I know the latest Sharp Cap, they got a whole lot more features, but I don't know what the latest Sharp Fire Capture has in comparison to.
Yeah, I tried Sharp Cap, the free edition, before I make a commitment to one or the other, and it was not that friendly to me. I couldn't even. There is a start capture button, and it was disabled. I don't know if it doesn't like my hardware or if it is only for paid version that you can start
No,
capturing.
it may be where you didn't have your camera connected.
The camera was connected because I could see it in live view. I
Okay,
could
see
see
mine.
Jupiter in live view, and live view, the first button. The second button is start capture, and whatever I did, I could not get it to work.
Yeah, that you didn't have, maybe you didn't have something else defined, how many frames you want to capture, how many seconds you want to run it for, and all that.
Maybe.
Because
Well,
there's like a
I'll-
pull down menu that you can go through. But see,
Okay.
now when you learn fire capture, we'll expect a presentation next month about it. Because that's what happens around here.
Next month may be a little too ambitious.
Okay, I can't, it's on the list now.
There you
Mikhail,
go.
I'm joining you. I'm building a DOB, a platform,
Uh-huh.
an EQ platform DOB, where I'm going, and the purpose of it is to do planetary
hmm
and lunar. So I'll be joining you in that journey.
Okay.
Cool.
Well, if you see some questions from me, that's where it's coming from. I'm trying to start planetary. I have my 11-inch Celestron, which is great for it. I have a 3x Barlow lens, which works just fine. I mean,
Right.
you can see Jupiter.
What
really good.
what camera you got for it?
It is a QHY 5 something.
Is it the 585 or? What is one?
It is yes, it is QHY 585C. Yeah.
Yeah, the
Very
585.
popular shit.
Yep. So that's a 2.9 micron pixel.
Yes.
So your best bet is get you probably a 1.5 to 2x Barlow.
Yeah, I
3x,
agree.
you're not
I
gonna,
know.
you'll have a hard time when you use a 3x on it. You're gonna get a lot of mushy stuff unless you have perfect seeing outside. You'll actually can get something good, but that's a rarity. So you're better off getting a really good quality 2x Barlow and try from there.
Yeah, it's just that I got it a while back before I was, thinking about planetary, and
Yeah.
I'll just start with it before I switch. I know that 3x is a little too much with this telescope, and I need to step down.
Oh, not as foolish as what I did in the beginning. Because I got a 6 SE. I still got, and I bought a 3x and a 5x Barlow for it. And I've only used the 5x Barlow once to realize that that was not really a good purchase for this one.
Yeah,
3x was
yeah.
okay, viewing through, but a 5x was like, nah. So I haven't even used it since.
I
I've
wonder
used
if
the
the
3x once in a
5X
while.
is. I wonder if the 5Xs are really only manufactured for like Newtonians that
I
are
think
like,
so.
yeah.
If you got like a lower, slower, or faster scope like f5, f4 in that range, I think that 5x Barlow works really good. But when you're already at f10 and you put a 5x on it, everything is becoming not so great.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Offline, I may reach out to some of you with
But
questions.
yeah, there are some videos. I've seen some videos out there on running fire capture. You just go
Yeah,
to
there's
YouTube and search fire capture, and there's one guy out there. I forget. He had like a series of like 8 or 10 of them. He went through each little section of
8.
them.
Yeah, yeah.
And I've gone through those, and I'm like, and I still was a little lost after. Then you go through them again.
There is a
And,
tutorial with 8
yeah.
videos, and
Yeah.
I've gone through that. Yeah, it's good. It gives you a good, at least initial understanding.
Hopefully,
Yeah.
it gets you to started and get you going. But I think I'm still stuck in first gear with it.
Yeah, and time is kind of running out because March 3rd, I believe, is the total lunar eclipse. So I'm trying to get ready for that.
So how are the skies in Arizona tonight?
Tonight is 100% clouds.
Sounds like
Now
us.
that's a rarity.
Yeah, but last week I had my telescope out all week long. It was phenomenal. I got probably 40, 50 hours on Rosette Nebula, night after night after night. I started at like 8 p.m. and it goes till almost 4 a.m., 3:30 until it's still close to 30 degrees. And yeah, it was great.
Yeah, I've had my 2 scopes out in the back patio for the past 2 to 3 weeks, and I just brought them in tonight because we're supposed to get snow, ice, and all sorts of crap. And I'm like,
Chicken.
they're gonna. If you get I'm more worried about the high winds. When you get 40, 50 mile an hour winds, I'm going. I don't know if that 60-pound bucket's gonna be good enough to hold it steady. It might slide a little bit and then flip it over or cause it to tip up. I'll bring it in and I'll set it back up afterwards. So
Well, we might
set it
get
up to
20
buy
inches
something
of
next
snow,
week.
John.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Is one was like 18 to 24. And I'm like, I don't want to have to get a shovel just to find the scope,
That's right.
because the telegizmo covers are the light beige color.
Yeah.
Right now, I'll have bad enough. I got 2 buckets still out there where they're at, so I'll trip over those if I have to go dig out snow and stuff. So.
It's the ice I worry about.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're supposed to get some of that. I mean, it's ice, snow, frozen rain, sleet. It's a whole mix of God knows what you're going to get. It's a roll of dice. Here it comes.
All right.
We might not give them, but a flurry or two.
Okay, before we get started, we actually, I'm looking at the screen here. We do have an absolutely brand new member. Hey, Jackie, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Great. Well, welcome aboard. She joined yesterday.
Oh,
So,
wow. Okay.
welcome aboard.
Thank
She
you.
hasn't left yet.
Is it photography? Is it photography you're interested in, or is it astronomy in general?
I like astrophotography.
Okay, good.
And
Let
You come to the right place.
you come to the right place. Okay, we'll start off with the presentation from Mr. Popcorn over here, and hopefully will
Well-
enlighten us on some new stuff.
Yeah, you're lucky tonight. It's only 22 slides instead of 50 or so.
We may have a short meeting tonight then.
There you go.
All right, it's all yours. Well, guess I gotta give you the opportunity to share, don't I?
Yeah, that would help.
Oh, hold on. I can find the right button.
And so I got to find the right screen.
Okay, well, advanced sharing. I got it set for all participants, so you're good to go.
Everybody see that?
Yep.
Looking good, John.
I learned my lesson the first time with the two different screens. Okay, lovely dual narrowband filters. Cheating without getting mono. All right, dual narrowband filters, like what are they? What can they be used for? Where do they go? What does the data look like? How to deal with the data? Will I catch mono? Don't kiss your filters. And let's upset the mono beat. What are they? Filters, basic essential for astrophotography, capturing detailed, vibrant images of planets, nebula, anything, stars. Function by allowing only specific wavelengths of light to pass through, blocking unwanted light pollution, which seems to be a constant struggle around here. Can enhance your contrast, reduce the noise, sharpen images. Astrophotography filters replace an optical path of your telescope, otherwise they're not really useful. Usually try to get as close to the front of your camera sensor as possible. You can attach them directly to your camera, threaded adapter, use them as a filter wheel, filter drawer. Everybody goes, why are you getting a filter wheel for a color camera? It's like, well, this is the reason. I mean, if you've got more than one narrowband filter, you get tired of swapping them out. So I've got three narrowband filters, two narrowband filters, and then a couple broadband filters, and then the UVIR cut in my 2-inch wheel for my color camera. What are they? Broadband filters. You have best for darker skies, be designed to reduce light pollution, brighter environments, basically for targets for galaxies, star clusters, dark and reflection nebula. Narrowband filters designed for monochrome cameras. These allow for narrow wavelengths of light, isolating specific emission lines for common gases found in space like hydrogen, oxygen. Basically, best for photographing emission in planetary nebula, supernova remnants, and the sun with special filters on that one. And then narrowband filters work great for light polluted areas and can be used pretty much anywhere. Then you have multiband filters. These filters are essentially narrowband filters designed for color cameras. They target light from 2, 3, or 4 or more wavelengths. So basically they're looking more for the hydrogen, sulfur, and oxygen bands. The tri-band and dual band filters fall into this category. They work well with color cameras to add contrast to nebula while minimizing the effects of light pollution. What can they be used for? Filters enable you to capture the two main emission nebula bands, such as HA03, S203, S2H beta, and there's a few others too. And then while also suppressing the unwanted light pollution, so you get up just two different bands, hence the dual narrowband filters. Allows you to capture cleaner data, reduce the post-processing efforts to isolate faint details from background light pollution. These are not for solar use or solar imaging. You don't want to look at the sun with these filters. Everybody thinks, oh, I got a solar scope that's got an HA filter on it. I have an HA filter here I use for nighttime. You don't want to use that filter for that.
What is the bandwidth of those filters? I mean, is it, I mean, nanometers?
It depends on which ones you get. The set I got are 5 nanometers, and the set I have that they upgraded to a newer version, which is now at 3 nanometers. Some are at 7. Some go to like they're a combination of maybe 7 and HA, and then they have a in O3 they might be like 8 or 12. So it just varies on how much you want to spend. Here we go. So we have the electromagnetic spectrum here. You got a visible spectrum. So you're going from violet, ultraviolet, all the way through your where you can visibly see up to the infrared area. So we're in that 400 range to 700 range area. They do like have ultraviolet filters. They do have infrared filters. You know, it's basically they concentrate in that visible spectrum area, and they're looking in the red, a little bit of green in the blue areas. So typical spectrum curve. These are I got Antlia dual narrowband filters. I have the HA03, which is on the left side. These are 5 nanometers. So the full width half maximum, which is pretty much right in here areas. It's about 5 nanometers. And then I have the partner to it, which is sulfur 2 and hydrogen beta. So you have a sulfur 2 over here in little darker red area. Then you have the hydrogen beta, which is a little bit more into the green area, into the blue area. This one's a little more in the green for O3, and that's the hydrogen alpha. So this is what it really looks like. So the emission lines, you have hydrogen beta is kind of like on the edge of the blue. Oxygen 3 is kind of borderline blue and green. It's that little mix of both. Then you have hydrogen alpha is like middle of the red, and sulfur 2 is more up in the darker red, up closer to the infrared.
What does a full width half maximum mean in reference to this?
So it's the full width half maximums. Like even when you look at your stars, so usually like when the lower value you have, the tighter your stars are, the smaller
Yeah.
they get. So you get better focus. So the full width half maximum is like a measurement. When you look at the graph, it's like the width of your bandwidth at like half maximum. So you're looking around the 50% range. So right around in here, it should be around 5
Oh yeah, I
nanometers.
see what you're saying. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah, so right across the board here, mine are 5 nanometer sets. So you should draw a line, and this little spot here should be 5 nanometers in width for sulfur 2, and the H beta for it should be the same 5 nanometers over here. Now some of them may actually have 5 nanometers on sulfur 2, and they might have an O3 with it that might be like 6 nanometers or a little bit like that. So that's why you got to look at the specs of. So so hydrogen alpha, you're at 656.3 nanometers, so it's right down here. And then your sulfur 2 is at 672, so it's a little bit higher up. And then you have oxygen 3 stuck here at 500.7, and then hydrogen beta is at 486. So a little sidebar here, you have a sensor type. So you have a monochrome sensor, which is here on the left, and you have a color sensor on the right. So you have a Bayer matrix stuck in on the color sensor, which is that red, green, blue pattern. Over here, you just pretty much just got no Bayer pattern really. It's just pixel array of lenses. So this will allow all your red, green, blue to come through your lens to your sensor, to your photodiode. Over the color side, depends on which filter it comes through. So this one only allows the green to go through, and there's little square boxes looking at these last three here. This one will say red come through, this one red come through. If it was a blue, you don't need a blue to come through. So now you're looking at, if you're using a mono sensor with a mono filter, you're using the whole sensor. If I use a filter that was just a single band that the mono cameras use, so if I have a 5 nanometer O3 filter, and that's all it is, one little spike at O3, I use my color sensor on it, it's going to get mostly the green and a little bit of the blue. If I use a HA, all it's going to light up is the red. So the blue and the green, it might get some, depends on your wavelength. There's a little chart that shows you the red, green, and blue of your sensor. And so there's actually, even though you might have a green filter through it, it actually will capture a little bit of blue, a little bit of red, and there's a little line you'll see along the bottom. So but they'll be really, really faint. But the bulk of it's going to be just in your red. So you're only using a quarter of your sensor at that point.
I have a question about, can you go back a slide? So in SharpCap, you can change the pattern.
Right.
So if you're trying to use a color sensor with filters, like you only get a quarter of the blues in this pattern. You can change the patterns where you can get more blues, correct?
No,
No?
that
Okay.
is this pattern here is actually these little lenses are built onto the actual sensor.
Okay. I
And
got
so
you.
when you so what you do, so you might see RGGB or RGBG or something like that, and that goes by how these filters were laid down. So this would be like a GR BG. So you got
Okay.
green, red, blue, green. Just
So
the
you
way this
mainly
one's
just
thicker laid
lose some
out.
pixels when you try to use a filter with color.
Yeah, so if you're using a single band filter, one of the just all it is O3 for a mono, you're only going to use a little bit of your sensor. You're not going to use all of it. I mean, it could be done. You'll get some data, but it's not going to look pretty compared to straight over on this side over here. Usually, right. This side over here, each one of these is going to pick up that band. Well, if I put a red filter on there, each one of these is going to have red come through every one of those. If I put a green filter on it, they all get green. If I put blue, they all get blue. If I put hydrogen alpha, they all get hydrogen alpha. I come over here to my color sensor and put a blue filter on it. Only these blue pixels are going to pick it up. The rest of them are not going to get it. I mean, it'll be a little bit of, a little tiny part of it, but bulk of it's going to be the blue pixel gets it. The other ones are going to get very minute. So if I put a hydrogen alpha on there, which is going to be red, the red sensor lenses are going to pick it up and that'll pass it through. But these other ones won't. So you end up using only a part of your sensor. But when you go
Right.
back to look at that, this here, so if I got a dual band for hydrogen alpha and oxygen 3, so here's oxygen 3, here's hydrogen alpha. So I got a red and I got more of this. Here's going to, the blue and the green are going to pick these up. And red's are going to pick this one up. So I'm actually using the whole sensor. This one over here is still going to get some green. This is kind of like exaggerated. So green is kind of close to green, but it's going to get a lot of blue, less green for that one S2O H beta filter. It's still going to use the full sensor, but it's going to be more shifted, and blue is going to pick up more than the green would. And then red's still going to get picked up for the S2. So where do they go? You got left side here, you got the filter wheel over here, so you can put filters in there. You got clip-on filters for DSLRs. You got the little drawer, so you can actually put your filter there, slide in the drawer. This here actually mounts in front of the DSLR, but they also have for a normal camera side. This here is a reducer for ASCAR, and this one actually goes in right into here. So these actually come apart, and you could put your filter in. So it's built in 2-inch filter thread into here. My reducer for my GT71, my William Optics, it actually goes on the very end of it. So it actually screws on the end of it over here. And then my camera on this side over here. So it's kind of farther away from it. That's why I ended up getting the filter drawer to put them in. So filter drawer makes it convenient because I just pull one out, slide the other one in. So I got like 2 different ones. But after a while, when you go out there, you start realizing that I don't want to go change a filter at 3 a.m. in the morning. I'll shoot that one filter all night. But now if you get a filter wheel, that's electronic filter wheel, then I could put both of them in there or whatever I want in there. Then I don't have to worry about trying to go out there and change the filter. The program can do it for me. So Nina will actually, you can set it up back one, give me HA03, or give me S2 H beta or S2O3, depending on the type of filter. So what does the data look like? This is the Pac-Man Nebula. On the left side is a stack of HA03. So you'll see it's predominantly red. And the whitish color here is some of the O3 kind of blending into it. See, it just kind of fades it out. Right side is my S2H beta. So you see a little bit of red around the fringes, but you see a lot more greenish blue. And that's the H beta signal coming. And here is the M8 and M20. So you have the Lagoon Nebula and you got the Trifid Nebula. So same side, HA03, right side is S2 H beta. So you get a lot more H beta signals in here. Now I've actually run across some nebulae they might have O3, but they don't have H beta. And a lot of times that won't show up nothing, hardly at all. So here's the North American Nebula and the Pelican. I did a 2-panel mosaic. This is the top panel. So this is part of the North America, part of the Pelican. The rest of it's down here, which you'll see shortly. So this is HA03, S2 H beta. So how to deal with the data. So within the HA03 filter, you split the channels out. This is the red channel. So you see a lot of red. That's the HA data. Here's the green. Oh, yeah, that's the green channel here. So you see there, the green channel is picking up, some of the O3. And you actually have the blue channel here, and it's picking up that. But if you look between the two, you'll see that the green channel picks up just a little bit more data than the blue channel. Just by comparison, these here, you'll see a little more up here compared to over here. And this is this, same filter, just split the RGB out. So you'll see that O3 is leaning more to that green side than it is the blue side. So over here we have the H beta and S2 filter. So here's the red. See, it's got some S2 there, but not like it's HA. It's a little bit darker red, so it's not as much. But down here you have the green and you got the blue. When you look at these two, it's almost equal between the two. And if you look, after a while you start looking closer and closer and closer, you might find that the blue side might actually have a little bit more data, or they might be equal. But you'll comparison over here, you'll see that oxygen 3 in the green is a little bit more than in the blue, but over here it's kind of equal for the hydrogen beta. So now you have it split out. What are you going to do with it? So on the left side, you have HaO3. You have your RGB channels. You go and take your green and blue channel. You can merge those into make an O3 set. Left side, you have S2. It could be S2O3 because a lot of them have S2O3. Antlia made it S2H beta, which is what I got. So the red channel is S2 data, and then the green and blue channels are the hydrogen beta, and you can combine those into hydrogen beta. And then you can combine those two together to make oxygen hydrogen beta. So typical workflow you can do the channel extraction, you do a star alignment. If you dump it all into one, mine comes out already fully star aligned between both of them. I dump them out. If you do image integration, O3 is going to equal O1 plus O2. H beta is going to equal to HB1, HB2 side. And then you're going to have OHB as O3 and HB. Or what I normally do, since they're kind of close together, I just combine all four of them. So I'll take O1, O2, HB1, HB2, add them together and divide by 4 and pick with pixel mass. The other ones I'll just usually divide by 2. So do that. So I just usually combine all 4 together to make one channel out of it. Both data sets. So since O3 is blue and green and H beta is kind of blue and green, it kind of just a little flip flop between the two. So it combines them all together. And you can go on down, you can do different LRGB combinations. So I can actually, if I have a tri-band filter, which it's got a decent, I think it's a 7 nanometer in HA, maybe a little bit wider. It's got O3. Well, it's also got a big blue channel, and then it's got green. So it's 3 bands together. So I can actually take HA off of my other filter and add that to it. So it's almost like a HA RGB type combination. And you can start getting really squirrely with whatever you want to do with it. So you have hydrogen, oxygen, H beta here, HOO, which is just one filter. If you have the HaO3 filter, you make the HOO. You can do here HSOHB, SHOHB, SHO, HSO, HSHB, SHHB. I mean, you can just go wild and get to different color combinations, and you just go through and you can do things. Now this here is ASCAR. They just came out with the E series. They have an E1 plus E2 filter, and this is basically HaO3 and the S2O3 filter set. So there's on the left side here. So they're looking. You got these two filters equal HaO3 S2 filter for a monochrome, and they're kind of, to me, I think they're cheating on this one here. So you have the single O3 HA S2 spikes over here. It's kind of hard to see, but there's actually the 2 spikes for HaO3 and then S2O3. So they split it out what it is, and they're taking the HaO3, and this is the S2O3 filter. And they split them out and combine them into RGB. Well, you have, your 3 combined over here. They kind of make the same thing. I'm all merged together. If you look at the 2, they're trying to cheat and say that this here they made it a little more brighter compared to the data over here. And I think in reality, it's not quite that way. I mean, it comes, and I think these are 4 and 5 nanometer filter range. Can't remember what the specs were for these. They come close to what the mono can give you. It's not going to be 100% mono, With mono, if you pixel peep, it's gonna look a lot cleaner compared to over here. You know, because to me, you look at mono as it's like a dirty mono. You know, it's been the bad rooms. And like, will I catch mono? So this could be a gateway for you to go to monochrome filtering. It's like here, no, you can get close to the gold alternative that utilize existing barometric color sensors, helps expand the life and of one-shot color cameras. It gives you the mono look without the price, basically. That's if you get some of the cheaper filters, because like the Ascar has the Color Magic C1, C2 set. They have a D1, D2 set, and an E3, no, the E set, E1 and E2 set, and they're just 3 different wavelengths between. I think one of them's, I think the D series are like 6 and 7 nanometer range. The other one's a little bit higher than the E series, a little bit tighter on the band. So here's the 2-panel mosaic. Left side is HAO3 2-panel. Right side is the S2H beta. And this is when they get down. So left side is like SHO filter, combination. Right side is kind of SHO, but with the 4-ax palette. So it brings more of some of the yellow and darker red out. That's just the color palette where you mix the filter sets. So they give you like what the finished look is. So you got different brands. I have Antlia. In fact, these are the pair right here. So this is the pair I have here. These are the Optolong, the newer ones, which is pairing a Synergy with the Ultimate, I believe. The Synergy brings in the S203, and then over here you have HA03. Here's the E series filters. These are the C series. There's also a D. You also have Altair Astro makes a set, and these are 6 nanometer size. Mine are 5. They now have a new set with 3 nanometers. So Optolong has set ZWO is making them. SV Boney's now coming up with a little bit cheaper ones. Ascar has them. IDAS has them. There's quite a few more and more people are showing up. Now, the one thing I really didn't cover were some brands, they sound good, but when you're in testing, some come out with halos around stars, especially in 03. It's kind of a, some could have really bad halos, some have really good, decent tight halos. I haven't really, everybody's saying, oh, the Antler field are really bad with halos. I haven't really seen anything really bad with halos. Even with Alnitak and for the Horsehead Nebula area, I didn't see any big, halo around it like a lot of the other ones show. I think it's just mine were manufactured pretty good. I'm not complaining. I'm not giving them up at the moment.
So you're saying, like they weren't like really big, or they still had halos, or?
Some of them will show you a big halo around the star. It's actually like twice as big as the star. Some of them will give you a halo that's kind of like inside the star itself. So if you look into it, you might see a little bit of halo there. Mine are kind of like in that range there, but a little bit smaller. I mean, some of you have to really pixel peek to find if there's a halo or not. And mine really, when you first look at them, they're not noticeable at all. Whereas some of you look at it like, oh my God, that thing you really notice. And to me, it's kind of distracting from it. So
Yeah, I know the L Ultimate. I mean, it does pretty good, but certain bright stars,
yeah,
like over in like the Satyr region, I think it's Deneb. You get like a little tiny halo out of that. I mean, it's not massive, but
no. Yeah, I mean, some of them are pretty good on halo control. Some of them are not so good on halo control.
Well, let's see, the Optolongs, they have recommendations, Adam, on what your focal ratios are.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
focal ratio is an issue. So if you have a slow telescope, they would recommend a certain type of filter, and if you have a fast one, they
Yeah.
recommend one.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm about
now,
f5.1, and I
Yeah,
think they do them like an f4 and higher, and f4 and lower, or it's like something around that.
yeah, I know my Antlia filters. I have my little William Optics GT71 with the reducer. I'm at f4.72, 336 millimeter, and these work perfectly fine. Now, if I put Hyperstar on my C6 or my C9 and a quarter, I couldn't use those filters because they'll get offset. So you're not it's not going to be straight onto the band pass of where at the peak is. It's going to be offset of it. So that's why they have a different filter. Antler makes a high speed filter. So it's got the band pass shifted one way. So when you get that higher speed, it picks up the proper area. So it still keeps it in the range instead of off on the edge of it.
What
And
happens?
now
What is the consequence of the offset?
you're losing signal. So instead of being like, if you're peaking your signal at 80-90%, if you have it offset because your scope it's a lot faster than what your filter can handle, you're farther down on that peak. You might be at 60 or 50%. So you're not even picking up all of it at all. So you end up with a fainter signal, and you're going to need more integration time to really make it up. But you're clipping a lot of it off. So they shift the band pass to one side. So your scope at the higher speed, at the like F2 or F1.9, it picks up the full spike of it, not just part of it. That's something they found out several years ago. And Queer the
So
Lazy
you-
Geek, he did a whole episode on that because he tests all these filters and see where they're at, and he found that they were not quite on specs for certain things, and that's when they figured that one of the scopes he was using, because I think he used a C6 with the Hyperstar on it, and he had to go back to the manufacturer, and they had showed him that, and they ended up having to make a band shifted area. So you don't want to use a high speed filter on a slow scope, and then you have the opposite. You're still off that peak. So you have to make sure you get it rated for your scope speed. And mine are rated like 4.2 or 4.0 and higher. Less than 4.0, then I have to get the high speed.
It's not a huge consequence. You just okay. I need 5 more hours.
Well,
Right?
no, it's actually kind of worse than that because
Okay.
yeah, because you're not even it depends on how far it goes off the peak. Because if you're looking at a 3 nanometer filter and you're on a high speed scope and you don't have a high speed filter, you're farther down that you might not hardly pick any of it at all because you're completely off that peak area, off that 3 nanometer. You could be 5 nanometers shifted off it in one way, so you get nothing. So if you have like your the Optilon L Enhance, it's got H beta O3 combined and into I think it's a 14 nanometer width right there, and then it's got a HA line, and I think it's HAS2 line, which is like 8 or 12 nanometers, or so maybe a little bit tighter than that. So that one, if you had a high speed scope, it still would probably pick up the bulk of that bandwidth that's coming through the filter. But if I put my 5 nanometer antlers on it, it's going to be farther down that side of the spike. And if I had a 3 nanometer one, it might miss it completely. So you might spend do a 5 or 10 minute shot to get HAO3, and it comes back with nothing because you're not even on that peak unless you have the higher speed filters.
Okay. That's a major consequence. Okay.
It is. Yeah, it can be. I mean, so it all depends on the filter width you got to begin with. So you might be partially on it, or you could be completely off it. So,
So I wonder if you use if you were to use any filter, any non-high speed filter on a high speed scope, it would have to be like a 12 nanometer or something. And if you had dark enough skies, it could technically work fine.
that's what I'm saying. Like with the L Enhance filter, since it's a broader bandwidth on the two spots it has, it'll probably work okay with a good high speed scope. Whereas
But
my 5 nanometer ones may not.
Yeah, but why you're saying high speed, but why won't what is causing it not to work is
It's just the
when
way.
you put a reducer on, it lowers the focal. So it's the
right,
angle or
Yeah, when the way the focal reducer reduces it down, when you put the filter in, when it comes through the filter, it comes in at a weird angle. Instead of being straight through the filter, it comes off. It's like offset of where your peaks are at. So it misses the what's coming. So your little windows you have open for it to come through. It's like you going through and partially going through the window and hitting the brick wall in the back of your house. So when you're trying to come through the window, you're not quite squared up to come directly through it.
damn. Yeah, it's crazy because if I got a high speed scope, I would have to buy a complete new filters.
Yeah.
Which is just insane.
And I'm trying to remember the cost. I know mine were 360, I think, each, and maybe 380. I think the high speed version was the same price. You just had to go through and select which one that make sure you're selecting the one that you were wanting.
But changing I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Would changing back focus make up for that extra step in the light?
It might, but then you're going to will you able to be able to reach focus if you change your back focus? If your
Right.
reducer set to 55 on the back and you go 60, will you actually be able to focus to even see it? So you
Yeah,
start getting into that.
maybe it's not that much, and so I, I was just thinking.
Yeah, it's
Sometimes it
usually
hurts.
If
Yeah.
you're using a reducer and you're messing with your back focus, you you're going to have some starish, oval stars
yeah.
and all sorts of problems.
Plus, then you start getting to the edge of your frame where your stars are going to look either streaked outwards or they're going to look like they're making a kind of a circle. You look at all four corners, they're starting to go, tangent to streaking out. So I don't forget what the hell they call the other one. But if they're streaking out, you're too close. And if you're, or no, yeah. And if you got the little arcs on the edges, you're too far away. So you have to move it in, move it out. So once you get your focal plane properly set out, then you put the wrong filter in, you could completely miss the spot you're looking for.
My assumption is the filter affects the lens the same way throughout, but that's an assumption.
Yeah, well, when you put a filter in your light path, your back focus actually changes a little bit, but it's only like maybe a millimeter or two, or half a millimeter. Or they say you need to add in like a third of the thickness of
third,
your
yeah.
actual glass. So if your glass filter is one millimeter thick, you need to adjust your back focus by 0.3 millimeter. You have to get the little bitty tiny spacers and stuff if you want to try to get that perfect back focus. Otherwise, if you look at the edge of the stars, blur extremities to fix that, and you never even know it. And there's the Pac-Man Nebula in SHO with the dual filter set. So you get a little more blue there with the H beta. And any other questions? No. About 30 minutes, I guess.
Yeah, that's good. Well, go back to you were comparing the mono versus the several slides back. You said the one was the dirty version of the mono, and I think Adam kind of touched on this earlier. Can't you just make up for that right there? Can't the one on the left, if it were noisy, dirty as you call it, just double the amount of acquisition time?
You can do that. You can get you can go more acquisition time on to help get it cleaner. But what I'm talking about dirty wise, I forgot to put the slide in here for it to even think about it. When you look at your actual color camera sensor, and you'll see the peaks of what the blue channel picks up, what the red channel picks up, what the green channel picks up. You'll notice that at the very bottom, around 1 or 2 or 3%, you have red, green, and blue along the whole bottom. So even though if you are in a red area, you got blue and green signal down at the very bottom. That's the dirty part, where it's bleeding that over, so the red and green pixels pick a little bit of the red up. And there's ways you can fix that. There's a lot more complicated on the pixel map. So you're going to take like 0.02% or 0.1% of red and subtract it out of the red and green, of the blue and green filters. So when you look at, when I say dirty, you're looking at what the color spectrum you're getting. Your red is not 100% red. It's got a little bit of blue and green in there. Your green is not 100% green. It's got a little bit of blue and red in it, type thing. So you got to look at the filter. So when you look at the mono sensor, you'll see your curve. It's just one line that goes up to like 80-90%, and then usually around the 700 mark it starts going down to maybe 80, 70, 60, and goes off, and it goes into higher bandwidth. Well, you have the same thing for the color cameras. You got red, green, and blue, but when you look at them, that color curves, you'll see at the very bottom the red, green, and blue. That's why you see the continuum subtraction. When you're trying to get the HA data out, it's accounting for that red and the green and blue channel data that's there. It's accounting for that to not take that, basically just get the signal it needs. So it subtracts away part of the signal just to try to make it pure, just the HA spot in that red channel.
So John,
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Steve.
Well, one of the big factors of choosing mono versus the a color. Like that Ascar was designed for a color camera. The mono, like a good set of mono filters, about close to $1,000 each. Am I accurate with that?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I looked at the 3 nanometer. It was a filter set from because the Antlia, they have the LRGB uh, Pro set, and then they had the 3 nanometer HA03 and S2, and that was like $1,200. And those were only the I think there's a 1.25 inch or 31 millimeter ones. If you go to a 2 inch filter, then you're probably looking at, 2000 range for that same set, maybe a little higher.
Right. When I was researching it, I found the filters were going to be the filters I wanted were going to be more expensive than the $4,000 camera I wanted.
Oh no. Yeah, if you go to chroma filters and all and
That's the
Astrodon filters,
issue
you're
I
looking
ran
at
into.
you're looking at around $2,000 a piece for like the Astrodon and for the chroma ones. They get pricey.
Yeah. See, and Devin just kind of chimed in there. He's got a full frame
Yeah, and they're
mono
even priced.
camera, and
they're like
he
$5,000
had
a
to fork
piece.
over some bucks to get the filters to work with that.
I bet.
Oh, I sure did.
Not so cheap filters there. Because they're what, the 55 square ones?
Yeah.
And then you're looking at probably what, $5,000 a piece or so?
Well, now we have the round ones. Merrill might have some square ones
No, I got
back
some.
in the day.
Oh, but no, they were. No, they actually were. But I mean, I got the same as Devin, and they're fabulous filters, but they do cost more than the camera.
Yeah.
But
So,
John?
Here we go.
go ahead,
Hey,
Clay.
John.
I'm going to sneak this over here real quick.
So I'm still pretty new into the filters. I got a couple of filters. Could you explain the difference between LRGB versus oxygen, hydrogen alpha, and sulfur?
Yeah. Well, here's a typical, this is off the 585 sensor. So when you look at, this is what wavelengths it picks up. So you'll see the red channel they actually pick up almost 10% of blue. Green will pick up around 4 or 5% of blue, and then you see the red sneak across the green area, and it's picking up 4 or 5%. And then when it gets to the red area, that's when it gets all its red data all the way down. Then you get to the 800, 850 range, and all three of them come up. So you'll see. So green picks up some of the blue, red picks up some of the blue, red and blue pick up some of the green, and then blue and green pick up some of the red. So that's what you're trying to filter out. So this is, to me, is the dirty part of trying to be mono. So you got, instead for a mono sensor, you're going to get, if you put a red filter on, you're going to get 100% red or 90% red, but you don't have any green or blue in that signal whatsoever. Whereas on a color sensor, you're going to have some of that other signal in these other channels. That's to me, that's that dirty part. Now, if we go to managing the Astro,
LRGB filter's a lot less expensive.
But Clay, did that answer your question? I mean, it seemed like you're missing something on the L.
well, I'm just giving you what the sensor is. Now I'm going to go look at the filter set and
Okay.
we'll
Okay.
tag one of those. So there's Antler V series. So you got the red, green, and blue, and luminance. So this is the wavelength it has. So the blue picks up here. So there's a little blue line that comes up,
John,
comes over.
are you showing us something on the screen supposedly?
I know. I guess you're not seeing nothing, are you?
No. Oh, we see the filters.
So
You may want to go back and review that first slide.
all right. Now, do you see the?
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here's the RGB set. I'll go back to that one here in a minute. So RGB with luminance. So the blue filter, you see the little line come up to here. It actually comes across and comes down over here. So when you put a blue filter in it, that mono sensor, it's all it's going to get is this blue filter. That's all it's going to pick up. Here's the green wavelength. So it overlaps the blue, comes back up, then comes back down. And then you got a gap because in here you got the sodium vapor lamps. Hydrogen, what was it? The old style street lights, which are now going LED, but they're spiked in here, so they kind of get rid of that a little bit of light pollution area here. So then you have the red pick up here, come up and come down. And then the yellow line here is your luminance filter. Your luminance filter is just like a UV IR cut filter. So it's cutting off the ultraviolet and it's really cutting off the infrared. So it's just picking up the whole red, green, and blue combined. When you look at a mono sensor, you get red, green, and blue in one shot. You can't separate that data out. It's just all, here it is, here you go, do with what you want. That becomes your luminance channel. Then you can pick up one channel for red, one channel for green, one channel for blue. So you have, well, one filter for each one of those. So you put the blue filter in, your whole sensor picks up blue data. Put a green filter in, your sensor picks up only all the green. And then if you pick the red in, you get all the red. So that's your RGB. And then when you look at hydrogen alpha, you're looking around 650 nanometers. So it'll be a little spike right here, and that's all it's going to get. And sulfur 2 is going to be right about here, and it's going to pick up a little bitty spike, depending on if it's a 5 nanometer, 3 nanometer, or 4.5 or 7 nanometer filter. So whatever the little bandwidth is, that's how much it's going to pick up in this one little spike here. And O3 is going to be like right down in here. It's like in between the blue and the green. Back, we can get into it. So here's the Antler SH. These are 3 nanometer filters. Yeah, look at $1,300 just for the 3 set here. These are what 2-inch filters.
Oh my gosh, it's expensive.
Yeah, no doubt. So they kind of, if you look at the wavelength there, this is actually 3 nanometers between here. It's like 3. Well, from there to the middle. So this is the S2 data. Then you have hydrogen alpha. So all yards getting that one little peak. And the one here is kind of like bigger. So here's the O3 filter. So all you are is getting that one little bitty sliver of data. And your whole mono sensor is going to pick all that up. Now, if you put this filter onto a color sensor for O3, it's only going to get the blue and red, or the blue and green is mainly going to pick a lot of that up. Red's going to pick up a little bit of it, but not a whole lot. So we go back to the camera. We look at that, what I was talking to myself about. So here's the wavelength. Everybody see this, right?
Yes.
So now here's your blue signal. So Amy, since you have our RGB, red, green, and blue filters on built into your sensor, the blue ones are going to pick up up to almost 78% of signal strength and come down. But it's also picking up a little bit of green and a little bit of red, because red comes down here up to 10, down to about 2 or 3, a bump a little bit in the green area. And then you got green right here is like in the 3 or 4% range. Your green filter is going to pick up more through here, but now you're also picking up a lot of blue and some of the red. And then the red filter on your sensor is going to pick up some green and it's going to pick up some blue. That's the dirty part of the color cameras. Even though you're trying to isolate hydrogen alpha signal and with the oxygen 3 signal, which is basically red and like a blue and green, you're going to pick up, because you're looking at 500 on O3, so you're picking up a lot of green and some blue. And then you're looking at 650 range, you're going to pick up a lot of red, but you're also picking up a little bit of green and a little bit of blue. So that's one thing when you look at the continuum subtraction utilities, they're looking at just the pure HA signal. So if you have an HA filter, that's all you got, you already got it. But from a color camera, it's going to have to compensate and try to get rid of data for the red or for the green and for the blue in that 650 mark area. So you're not getting a full 80% of red, because you're also getting a little bit of green and a little bit of blue with it. So it's got to take some of that out. So it actually gives you a little bit less percent to try to compensate for the other 2 signal parts in there. Same for the oxygen 3 down here. It's going to take care of some of that red to get it out. And if you have H beta, you're a little bit farther down, so you get a lot more blue than a little bit less green.
So pretty much LRGB is for mono only.
Right. Yeah.
Therefore, the hydrogen alpha filters that we use could be mono and color.
You could use, if you have my dual band filters, I can put them on a mono sensor and treat it as a luminance channel because it's going to pick up a mix of blue and green area, and it's going to pick up red. And so that could be used as a luminance channel in your rest of your data for, or if you have a red, green, and blue filter, you can come back with that. But it's almost pointless because you already got that data in the red, green, and blue filter itself. So that's why they have an actual luminance filter, which covers the whole wavelength from like 400 up to 700 range. So it covers red, green, and blue, plus some of the other stuff in there. So it'll pick up a little bit more light pollution because it ain't filtering that out. You could use my L Pro filter. It filters out quite a few areas of light pollution, and it could be good for a luminance filter for mono to get rid of some of the other light pollution in your area. And so that'd be your luminance channel using that. And this Optilon L Pro, I think, was the very first filter I bought. So this area, this is the wavelength.
Yeah.
So everything here in the red. So this is the red signal. The red line here is what the Optilon L Pro filter picks up. So it picks up that signal. So it excludes this light pollution stuff and includes these, excludes, picks up these. So it's kind of a weird wave he does. So in reality, it covers 400 to 700 range without the actual light pollution that you might run across.
Yeah, John,
in your area.
I love that particular filter for galaxies. You don't want to do narrowband generally for galaxies.
Right.
So this is with my RGB camera, this is a fantastic filter for galaxies.
I know. I got that on my 9.25 scope right now. I've got the filter drawer on my 533 on my 9.25 that's reduced to right now it's at 1648. Supposed to be 16 or 1658. And so I'm using the L Pro filter on that, and so it's slowly gathering. I got like 50 or 60 galaxies tagged in there for the schedule.
So it's also a
To go out there and get
UV IR cut filter as well.
Right, because your ultraviolet's down here, and your infrared's up here. So it replaces your UV-IR cut. And if you're in a light polluted area, so if you're stuck in Memphis somewhere, or on the edge of Memphis, I'm in North Olive Branch. Well, actually, I'm on the east side of Olive Branch, on North Mississippi. So I get light pollution to my west from Memphis, and I can use this filter farther in the west because it's filtering a lot of that light pollution out. Until now, they're switching to LED, which is a broad spectrum LED, which covers every freaking frequency in between. So this becomes almost a pointless filter at that point.
Yeah, the mercury vapor is easy to take out, and now the city all the cities are going to just LEDs, and so yeah, this filter is going to be obsolete probably in 10 years.
Hey, so John, I don't know if you touched on this earlier. One of the hardest things for me to understand, I don't know if you want to explain it. When I first got into astrophotography, a lot of people were saying like SHO, HOO, and like I never understood like what are they talking about? How do you get these images? So how is SHO different from HSO?
Hey,
Okay.
John, do you have that SETI Astro perfect pixel perfect?
The perfect palette picker.
Yeah, if you loaded that up and showed that to Adam, I think it would answer his question.
Yeah. Well, I can actually do it here too because this is the L enhanced filter, which is the second filter I bought. But this one's got the lines marked. So here's HB line, which is the blue line here. Here's O3. So this filter picks up both of those. And then it's got HA right here. So it's picking up HA signal. Well, here's S2 is right here. So this is the S in SHO. This is the H in SHO. And this is the O in SHO. So you look at RGB, the red, green, and blue. SHO, S2 data will go into red channel. Hydrogen alpha will go into the green channel. And then O3 will go into blue channel. That's your SHO palette. So they always go by RGB, and then whatever narrowband you're using, you put it in those channels. So if I want HOO, I'm putting H in red, O in both green and blue. If I want HSO, I put H in red, S in green, and O in blue. So it's just the order, whatever order it is for SHO and anything like that, that's the order you put them in red, green, and blue to make that palette.
Yeah, that's exactly what I
And
was asking. Like it's so hard for me to embrace SHO, even though Hubble is like known for that palette,
yeah,
the SHO, because I've been doing uh HAO 3 with the dual narrowband for so long. Red to me means hydrogen alpha, you know. So
right.
just so all of a sudden, you know, most of the nebulas are hydrogen alpha, and I mean sometimes there's a little bit of sulfur in there. But it's just
Well,
so weird to just label HA as green all of a sudden. It's just so
yeah.
odd.
Well, they're using it more as a scientific way. They're trying to highlight. They're not worried about what it looks like color wise. They're looking at the scientific data of we're bringing out. So HA being in the green, you're looking at, if you look at before you make a little mangle of it, you can tell where the hydrogen data is at.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
you
definitely. I
look
see
at
what
the
you mean.
oxygen, you'll see where the oxygen data is at, just by looking at where the pictures. They're looking at more of a scientific thing for it. I'm gonna bring up
But yeah, I
PixInsight. I
just
gotta
wish
put.
there were like there were more than three colors that our eyes could differentiate from instead of just because I think we just have red, green, and blue cones in our eyes. It'd be nice if we could like, make S sulfur like a different color further down the spectrum. I mean, I guess you could. I guess it would be infrared, but
So here is PixInsight. This is my data. This is only 2 hours of. This is just the H beta S2 filter. This is on the Rosette Nebula. But under City Astro, he's got the perfect palette picker. And what you can do is, if I'm using here the dual channel, so I got this, and I can go create palettes. This will give you a preview of what each one of these are going to look like, color-wise. And it'll start populating them here in a second.
yeah, I gotta figure out how to get City Astro. Would you drop a link or something later in the
So
Slack for?
This is PixInsight, Adam.
Yeah, yeah, I
yeah,
know, but
Yeah.
just like a City Astro. Was it like some kind of repository or something?
yeah,
Or
there's a repository for PixInsight that City Astro has. He's also got his City Astro Suite Pro now, and looks like he's getting ready to start charging for it because he's setting up. Because when you go to do it, when you
oh,
go look at it today, you'll see that it's $0, but you just got to go in and pick it, put it in the shopping cart, go check out. And he's basically gathering your name and address and stuff like that, but no credit card info yet. So he might leave it like that for quite a while. We can ask him, but this is kind of like the wrong filter to use. But you'll see, like for SHO, it's taken and trying to use it that way. So it comes out this type of color, this color here for HOO, but I'm using a S203 filter. S2H beta filter. So it kind of makes them all look kind of the same. I just had to find something real quick. I think I've got another one.
so is that really sulfur, HA, and oxygen data, or it's not?
It's trying to add, well, see, my problem is with this filter, all I have is, well, the S2 data, sulfur 2 would be wherever the S is at. So that's the first one in the list, but then you have H beta, and it's kind of like muddling it all up. So it gives you more of a purplish color here on this first one. Then you have HOO. Oh, this darker red is actually the S2 data.
I didn't even know there was H beta. I didn't even know it existed.
Yeah.
I just learned that.
Yeah, when you look at a lot of the color, when you look at the dual narrowband filter sets that they have, it's a 2-filter set. One filter is HA03, and then they made the other one S203. So that's why you get double the oxygen. You get one set of hydrogen, one set of sulfur 2, then 2 sets of oxygen 3 when you use both filters. Well, Antlia decided to go, well, when they made theirs a long time ago, they went with, since they already have oxygen 3 in their first filter for HAO3, they went with hydrogen beta. So they made an S2 hydrogen beta. So all I got to do to make an SHO, I can take the S out of this filter and use my other filter other channels out of that to create the O3, and then I have A over there, so I have my SHO that way, and I have H beta stuck out here doing nothing. Or I can combine that in with the oxygen to make a little more bluer oxygen.
What are those realistic ones? What does that even mean?
It
It's
tried
a
to give you a
pixel
true
map.
red, green, and blue.
Oh, like if you used the colored camera and just didn't use any filters?
Or yeah, use like a luminance on it,
Yeah,
just or the regular UVIR cut filter.
So Adam, were you requesting us to give you somebody give you a link to so you can download?
Yeah.
Cityastro.com.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. It's just steadyastro.com. All right. $0 for right now, I guess.
Well,
Yeah.
but you want to put it in your Pix Insight.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
that's really nice. You just pulled up every single palette all at once without having to do any pixel math.
Right.
It
Well,
does it uses
does here.
pixel math.
Yeah, here all the
Yeah,
pixel
yeah.
math is in the back end here. So he's done all the pixel math back here to make all these palettes. And so let's say I want HOO. I click on it. It's going to create that. There's my HOO right there. If I want 4X, click on that. It'll pop up the 4X palette. So there's the 4X one. And then behind this HOO. So this one here, it does all the math for you. All you got to do is, I kind of like to look at this one, realistic 1 or realistic 2. Just click on it. It'll create it. And when you're done, you exit. And then you have your realistic, you have your 4X, and you have your HOO. Or you have the one I had, which is this is actually, I think, a 6-panel mosaic. It's kind of shrunk down.
So Adam, do you have narrowband for your color camera?
Yeah. Just the L Ultimate.
So if you were to get the synergy, you can split out the red of the synergy, and there's your sulfur.
Yeah, the synergy is the S2O3 filter.
Right.
So you
And
get
then
the red channel off that as your S2.
And then you pull the red out of your existing L enhance whatever. Then
Or HA.
you got 2 of the colors, and then both of them do O3, and I just integrate those.
Yep.
Yeah.
I usually take all 4 and divide by 4, add them all 4 together, divide it by 4, and you're good. And then you have an O3 master.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If I do get another dual narrowband filter, it would definitely be one with sulfur, because once I get that, then I would be able to do some kind of like Hubble. Like I remember as a kid seeing the Pillars of Creation and just being amazed by them, and like now I can image a similar color palette, which is just amazing. So I would want to do the Pillars of Creation. That's one of the first things I'd want to do with an SHO.
And Meryl, what is the name of that script that allows you to just totally play around with these colors?
Narrowband normalization, I think.
Yeah. So Adam, open that thing up in Pix Insight, and you're going to choose what color is what. You get total choice.
Well,
Yeah, what I highlighted here is that's the repository for City Astro. So all his PixSite utilities he's got script-wise are stuck there.
Yeah.
And so it's that one there. It's highlighted. If you go to his website and there's a Pix Insight up at the top, you click on that, it'll get you down to that right there.
All right.
And that what that does is we look under scripts, City Astro, it gives you all these.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you right now, that right there is worth the price of admission to Narrowband to RGB star combination.
Yeah, that's a good one. I don't know. There's a bunch of good ones there.
Oh,
Halo Be Gone. Adam was talking about halos earlier. That Halo Be Gone does a good job getting rid of halo.
Yep.
Yeah.
Halo Be Gone. You got
Blemish Blaster is really good.
Yep.
I've used that a lot. Automatic DD is iffy. I use it 50% of the time.
And then your continuum subtraction utility to pull out, you're trying to get your pure HA or O3 data or S2 data. I played with the Cosmic Clarity, but it's a little more to get it configured than just running these.
Just come talk to our group in March.
Yeah. You can merge your different masks together, so you can create a couple masks and combine them. Star stretch, and you have statistical stretch.
Hey,
This is like
you know,
the newer version.
John, he revised that.
Yep.
if you click on statistical stretch, he added the you must not have the new one yet. What is the new stretch everybody's talking about?
This is version 2.6.
Yeah, I saw the changes, but I don't remember what
That
they
he
were.
what is the name of that new stretch everybody's talking about, Adam? Like he
Mass.
Yeah.
Verilux.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he added Verilux to that, John.
Yeah. Probably this one got picked up. Yeah, it should have been.
Barrel-X?
Yeah.
Huh. I'm gonna load mine up here.
You also get, if you like star spikes, he's got a spot where here you can add the star spikes in.
That's all that stuff that you're showing me, like narrowband to RGB, star spike. Those are free tools.
Oh yeah, this is all
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, so what
Uh,
you would do was
He's making a lot of money right now with donations.
Yeah.
It's
So
just
this
like
would be something.
Telescopius. Telescopius is a totally free website where it really
Yeah.
is fantastic. Matter of fact, Merrill's is going to talk to the guy who owns Telescopius soon to come talk to our group. And everything's totally free, but he's making plenty of money with donations.
Yeah. No, I'm a patron for that because I absolutely love it.
Yep.
And I advise, I try to donate to things that I love, and I love that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
good.
he told me he'd come back to us sometime after the first of the year, so I'll bug him again. He said he's made a lot of changes and wanted to finish him before he shared it with us. So I'm looking at the statistical stretch 2.3. Is that what you're talking about, Steve?
Yeah, I forget the number, but I saw that he added the Verilux feature to it.
Oh, I, I
I
don't
don't know
know.
if it was.
I don't know what I'm looking at then. I don't see Verilux.
Oh, okay, let's see.
Huh.
Do you have his new latest?
Well, I do the automatic updates, so I would guess, but maybe not.
Let me exit this. Script, the Astro, statistical stretch.
Yeah, the latest version he's got is 2.6.
It's up to 2.6. Well,
Yeah.
I just did it, just check for updates and didn't look like it was one of them. Yeah.
Yeah, Merrill, I just opened mine and it's gone. It was there. He's added a few other things here. The Luma blend.
Yeah, it's got it. Yeah, that's a lot more
I think
complex.
I think what he did with on 2.6, I think he's actually got it in the background to do part of it to make it a little bit better.
Yeah.
Compared to it being just an option now. I think it's actually
He had a
built into it.
Verilux slider there that is gone. Now it became basically the HDR knee, the HDR mount, and Luma mode and Luma blend is taking it over. It looks like he made it more powerful.
No, we're talking about statistical stretch or star stretch.
Statistical stretch.
I think it's 1.67 or whatever.
Well, the version I have is 2.3. It's statistical.
That's the version I have, 2.3.
Oh, okay. I
So-
think that's the latest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I had Star Stretch up there. It may have been 2.6.
Yeah, that's confusing. Yes, you're right. Yeah, this became just basically from a point and touch it and go to now you got to make some decisions.
Yeah.
I always use that just to get me onto the nonlinear and then adjust from there.
Mm-hmm. Well, PixInsight gave you a Verilux process as well, so that's something that John needs to give us a talk on that in the next few
Yeah, there
months.
you go.
Yeah.
What
I haven't even touched that one at all. I don't think I even have it in my PixInsight.
You got 3 or 4 months. Get to work.
You got a week, do it.
Okay.
Am I slow?
Do we want to move on to the rest of the topics or just finish this one up here or What's the group's choice?
I gotta get off here to go to bed. It's my 2 cents.
Can I ask? Well, first of all, John, you did a fabulous job, like you always do, and that's why you get picked on all the time. If you screw up more often, I wouldn't ask you.
Yeah.
But we let me just ask a quick question for you. People start leaving. We've lost a couple, three already. But one of the things that we talked at the last board meeting was moving away from Slack to Discord. And I just wanted to hear if anybody has any thoughts one way or the other. And one of the major drawbacks of Slack, you put your image up there or anything in 3 months, this goes away. I mean, since we have the free version, you can pay $7 a month per person, but we're not going to do that. Anybody have any input?
I can go either way, don't matter to me.
I think it'd be nice to switch over to Discord because there's plenty of times where I've tried to scroll back on previous conversations or looking for links and I can't. So it'd be nice to have access to all of our conversations.
Yeah, I'm same way.
And it's being used by the community, our processing community. So if you want to talk to Frank at City Astro, you have to use Discord. And he talks to you direct. He's fantastic that way. Some of us are interested in an amazing technology called PyFinder, where you can use your dive and push to any object you want. Just there's arrows there saying go up, down, left, and right, and he has everything on the Discord channel. So it's becoming a go-to way to communicate. And another thing I like about it is you can put documents on there and they stay. Here's some critical Memphis Astronomical Society documents, and they're always there for anybody to download whenever they want. We could put past versions of meteorites there, something we couldn't do at Slack. Slack is more expensive than the Memphis Astronomical Society.
Oh yeah, we couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
This is I have a few channels here. Nina's the one I use occasionally,
Yeah, Nina has a big one.
and then astrophotography and people post but there's all kinds of them that you can choose from. So I mean, it sounds like it's favorable.
Does anybody have any problems with it? I guess that's.
I mean, we could start migrating, doing both and just see how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Steve, did you say that there was like an image size or compression problem with Discord?
Yeah, it's easy solvable. It's better than Slack, so you can.
Oh, okay.
But what a lot of people do, and they make it easy, is anybody who has a Gmail account also has like 15 gigs at least of data, and it integrates with your personal. Like say Mikhail wants to show some data problems he's having, he can put some files on there and then link to his account, his Gmail Drive account. Then Merrill, John, or I can download it and help him out with that. So it would be a good way for us to. There's some steps we'd have to train people with, but it'd be a good way to communicate, problems.
Yeah, you're talking about Google Drive, right?
Right.
Drive.google.com. Yeah.
Right. So what you do is you just you drag there and it goes to your personal Google Drive account. Then you open up to the public, and Merrill and I and whoever can download that, the big files. We're talking about the gigabyte files, and deal with that.
Okay, well that's why we just call this the evening. I think I got the input I want. We'll discuss. We're going to discuss it some more at the board meeting, but we may run a dual path.
It won't take a lot of discussion.
Okay, well.
Well,
That's right.
you weren't at the last board meeting, Rick.
That's all right. I'm still
Okay.
the president.
Oh, you only get one vote. So,
Technically, I don't get a vote.
well, that's not true. Jeremy always used to say that. Just go read Robert's rules. Anyway, all right. Well, that's all I have for this evening. It's been a very interesting conversations and involvement. We did have Rick before you got here. One of our brand new members, her second day on the membership, she joined us. She's already left, but it was good to get brand new people coming in.
Excellent. Well, before everybody jumps off, somebody needs to show me how to get this SETI Astro stuff integrated into my copy of Pix Insight. Is it a library that you add to the?
Yeah, the repository to add.
Okay.
SETIastro.com, and you should be able. Yeah, you get the link and you put it in your
Yeah. Where do I get the link? There you go. That's the question.
StudyAsher.com. Then there's a Pix Insight link he's got in the top left area. Click on that, and I go to his Pix Insight scripts and stuff, and down there he's got it listed somewhere along the way. He's got the repository URL. If not, I can throw it in the chat or email it to
Let's just throw it in the
Well,
chat.
put it on Slack channel.
Yeah, I'm going to throw it in the chat real quick too.
Oh, as an FYI, Meryl, I got
Rick, paste that into, there it is.
I've got 11 completed panels for the
Oh my goodness.
Barnard's Loop. 11 out of 40. I've got 3 hours.
I can't wait to see that.
Well, yeah, I got one more set of greens to get, and then I'm calling it quit of about 100 hours and 200 gigabytes of data. So it's then the work begins.
That's right.
Yeah, I only got
So,
21 gig of data for those at the moment.
So y'all be able to add my 10 hours of Horsehead, or what's going on with that?
Well, we might, but
We haven't got that far.
yeah, by the
Oh,
time
okay.
by the time you look at the image, I mean the horse head's right in the middle. Well, no, it's actually kind of at the top, and it's so very tiny. But we'll cross that bridge when if we ever get to it.
Yeah, I mean, whatever makes the image, look good, I'm fine with.
Do you see it here, Adam? See
Yeah.
how small it is?
Oh yeah.
And the Bernard's Loop is this is like a tiny panel of it.
One of my 15 and one of John's 40. So
yeah. So the Horsehead Nebula will not be seen.
well, you can zoom in. These each one of my rendered frames were 3 gigabytes, and trying to move all that data around is daunting.
Yeah.
So
my normal regular frame is 900 gig or 900 meg, and then if I drizzle 2x, which I've been doing, that's 2.5 gig.
Oh, you're drizzling data that you're mosaicing.
Yep.
You're asking for trouble.
yes, he is.
Why
Yes,
not?
he is. Yes, he is.
Meryl,
And you're only using 20. You only got 21 gigs so far.
Yeah, for those panels so far. That's just the raw data.
Yeah. Well, no, I've got my total folder is 200 gigs.
Yeah, I'm targeting 36 5-minute shots in the tri-band filter for each panel. And then when I process the panel, it's going to be both the normal, and then I'll do a 2x drizzle.
man.
Well, I'm doing RGB, an hour of each panel RGB, and then several hours each of HA for each panel. So we'll see how it comes out. John and I were working on mine the other day, and I got some quirky something happening.
Now, when I posted the Witch Head Nebula, that's the west side of my mosaic, bottom west side. That one, I think it was panel 30, 35. Oh, let's see, it's 40, 35, 30, 25, and 20. There's a 5-panel for that. I think I posted that in Slack several days ago.
It looked pretty good for what is it? Bortle 8 is where you're at, or
Bortle 80, where I'm at in Olive Branch here on the east side of Olive Branch. So I know I don't have a sky meter, so I couldn't tell you what my actual border rate
You're
is.
probably closer to 7.
Probably 7.5 range, I would guess.
Yeah,
On a good night.
I go down there. The sky's pretty good down there.
And this is off my back patio. My back of my house points directly north.
Mhm.
So I can just go to the back patio, point my scope straight north, pretty much, and just tweak a little bit, and then pull it aligned. And the only problem is Orion goes over my house, so I had to go shooting over the house. But I'm
Okay.
surprised I got the data I got for that Witch-Hit Nebula. I'm surprised I actually was able to get that in 3-hour panels, just 3 hours. They pull that reflection nebula out.
So I was late getting on. The thing y'all were demonstrating was called Perfect Palette Picker.
Right.
Is that what it was? Okay.
That's a beautiful
Yeah.
thing. I love that thing now because I'm shooting. I'm like John said. I'm shooting the 2 narrow bands, HA and the sulfur, and you splitting out those channels, and you get to play with that.
Yeah, but what I don't understand the physics. Someone's gonna have to. I'm gonna have to figure that out.
You're the light guy. You need to give us a talk on that.
Yeah.
Well, I don't. If you're, you can't. I don't understand how you could mathematically extract a color channel out of a picture that didn't have it separated for you.
Isn't it just the pixel math for the mapping of the RGB channels?
Yeah. Well, on the first end, you have the filter.
You didn't watch
Well,
the presentation, did you?
well, no,
He came in
I
late.
got here late. I got here late.
So it takes all the HA data and sticks on the red channel, Rick.
Well,
So-
it can't do that. So wait a minute. So when you're taking a picture, so these are taken with color cameras.
That's what we're talking. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're using something like a L enhance or something filter,
Exactly right.
multiple band passes in it, and you're using a color camera.
Mhm.
And you're telling me that between how that filter characterizes the red, blue, and green pixels, it can do differential math between those pixels and determine the frequency content of it can determine the content at a different frequency.
Well, what you got on the L-enhanced filter is it's a dual band pass filter. So it's got a band pass for H beta O3 combined.
Right.
And that's right there on the border of a little bit of blue and a little bit of green. Then it also has a combination of HA and S2 data up in the red. So when you split that out, your red channel is going to be HA S2 data.
But
When
wait,
your
when
green
you say
channel and your
split it
blue-
out, that's
Yeah.
the part
You take the red channel and you turn it into just a mono black channel, and just so it was red, and then you rename it as HA.
but it's not.
PixInsight has
but it's not really.
It is.
It is.
Yeah, but because the filter looks at the filter is looking at that hydrogen alpha data and saying and pushing it to the red
Pixels.
Red channel, so the red pixel, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's nothing but it's HA because this
Okay,
stuff
but
is not visible.
okay, all right.
Yeah.
But how do you get to sulfur or something else
You
from
need another
that data?
filter.
Now the L-enhanced filter combines those two separate sets. My Antlia filters are dual band. I have 2 of them. I have a HA and O3 filter, which has HA in the 654 nanometer range, and it's got O3 in the 500 nanometer range. My other filter is S2 H beta, so I cover S2 data in my other filter and H beta in my filter. So I can take the red off my S2 filter. That'll be S2 data. There's nothing else. There's not anything there. It's strictly just the S2 band pass at 5 nanometers. Then I can take the red channel off my HAO3 filter and have HA data because that's the 5 nanometer band pass at hydrogen alpha. Now the blue and green channels is a combined of the oxygen 3 because it straddles that blue and green filters, bandwidth.
Yeah. Yeah. But
So when you
is
so,
is
so when
this
you
thing
split the
saying you can pull some other frequency data other than what your filters are providing
no, because
No,
that's when they
electronically? Then
right.
no,
So when
that
you
doesn't work.
what's the pixel math for? I don't understand.
That's
the
the end.
pixel
So
math is
the filters are sticking. Okay, so if I've got Rick, do you have an L enhance?
Yes.
So say you bought a Synergy. The Synergy is the L enhance uh, sulfur, and it puts everything on the red channel. So you get data there, and then you extract that red channel out to a mono, and there's your sulfur. And then you do it to the L enhance, and there's your hydrogen alpha. And then you get to do the perfect palette picker. What do you call it? And you're set.
yeah, because all it's going to do is take those 3 channels and mix them different ways to get the different palettes.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, because what it does, it takes. So in other words, on the perfect pixel palette, you add in. I got both my filters. I can add one filter as my HA03, the other filter as my S2O H beta. Then I hit preview. It splits the 3 channels out for each one of those filters. So it takes all 6 channels and it merges them different ways to make a different palette. So if it want an SHO palette, it takes S, which is sulfur, off that second filter, and it takes the oxygen off the first filter. That's where O3 is at, and it takes the hydrogen alpha off that first filter. That's where the hydrogen alpha is at, and then it'll combine those 3 with pixel mass to give you that palette. If you want HOO, it does the same thing, but it uses the hydrogen and oxygen and combines it to make that palette. And then if you want all the other weird, goofy looking ones that you have, it just combines them in different ways. And it
all
gives you
right.
a list of everything that you want. And all you got to do is, I like that one. You go click on it, and it'll create that picture in the background, and boom, you're done. You can pick as many as you want, and it'll create one in the background.
All right. All right. I get it.
I can load it back up if you want to see it.
No, that's fine. This is just the part of this hobby that is always a conflict for me because it gets down to the part that's art versus the part that's science, and I'm intrigued with the science, and then the art is subjective, and it's
Yep.
great. It's what looks good to you, fine. Uh, but when it gets, I'm always interested in the physics and how the physics of what we're doing plays into the electronics that we're using and the math that we're using to count the photons. That's what you're doing with a CCD camera. You're counting photons, and there's nothing. There's no frequency data. There's no data like that in those photons. You're counting photons in pixels. You've defined the red pixel as red because the red pixel has a red filter in front of it. The blue
Right.
ones are blue and the green ones are green. And so that's where I was going. I'm just trying to understand if there's a true connection to the physics, or is it just mathematical juggling? So I get it. Thanks. I needed that explanation.
Well, good. Well, it's been a great meeting, John. Again, let me say thanks one more time. You just do a fabulous job. I mean,
That was great. I
Yeah.
really needed that, actually.
Yeah.
That was helpful.
That was very, very interesting. And I'll get it on YouTube. And we'll plan for the February. Maybe Sebastian will join us in February. I'll have to bug him again and see what his schedule looks like. But okay, get ready for the snowstorm. Hopefully, we don't get anything. That would be great, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna
So
sign
I
off
was
here. Yeah.